It's me, Elian Habanero. Welcome to episode 13 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show. Of course, the W.I.L.L.I.W show stands for Wrestling is Life, Life is Wrestling, and it's true for me. I live, eat, breathe, sleep, and go to the bathroom thinking of wrestling. So of course, what are we going to talk about first? It was a big night last night. The most emotional night of the year for me, the WWE Hall of Fame. And it was pretty well done. I really liked the production value this time. I felt they gave them longer on the speeches. Everything was done really well. My favorite has to be the Beth Phoenix induction. Now, I was not even looking forward to this introduction at all. When they announced it, I was just like, good for her. I'm glad she got, put in the Hall of Fame. But I wasn't expecting the speech to be that good. She, talked about all the women. I didn't even know if she was allowed to bring up some of them. And then they had some of them in the crowd, too. And it's just good to see them maybe going to be on some future projects, some DVDs, some whatnot, and some interviews and stuff like that. It was so great that they're finally, getting all the women from the past during the TNA era and still giving them the props they deserve for doing what they had to do to keep the women's division going. And to see where it is now, these ladies are pioneers. It was just such an emotional speech. Shout out to Ron Hutchinson. They gave Ontario some good props in it. I just really enjoyed it. That was the most emotional one for me, and I was not even looking forward to seeing it at all. That's what I love about wrestling. I love being surprised. And in this day and age, it's so hard to be surprised. Now, the Jim Cornette speech for the Rock and Roll Express just gave me goosebumps everywhere. I had tingles. He talked about wrestling the way it should be talked about. It just made me have so much pride to even be known as a wrestler. Just, if you ever want to see what wrestling is all about and you want to show somebody that doesn't know about wrestling, that would be the speech you would want to watch. I felt DDP was a good choice to be the curtain jerker and get the crowd into it. I was expecting him later. I was very surprised. It was a great way to start off the show with, of course, a bang. And what else did I like? The Rick Rude induction. I felt the son did really well. Is he going to be a wrestler? He's really tall. The daughter was hot, obviously. It was really good. I love seeing the families when you don't know them and seeing what they think of the business and just telling the personal side of their lives that we didn't know about really. And I didn't know that he was that strong. That was amazing, some of the things they told. The Rock and Roll Express, it seemed like they were, they had to stick to their notes and whatnot, but it was just so good to see them on the stage. I believe it was during their induction when they were doing their speech that they panned to Roman Reigns at some point and the crowd started booing, and you could tell they did not know what the heck was going on. They clearly were why are they booing? They don't boo the Rock and Roll Express. Bischoff's introduction was very well done. Natalya, she did very well. The Kurt Angle one, I think by then I was just so drained. It wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be quite honest. He did really well and everything. It's just, I honestly think now, looking back, John Cena was the wrong choice. I think maybe just, I know Natalya's in WrestleMania, but she's not in such a big program. I just felt like the crowd was not letting him be, out of character. They were booing him and cheering him like he was in character and stuff. And I know why they picked him, but looking back now at the way the reaction was, they should have picked somebody different. And did you hear them chanting for The Miz? When I was talking Double Turn the other day, I could be onto something. The crowd wants The Miz. This is crazy. We haven't seen something like this in so long in the business. It's unbelievable. The thing I can't wait for the Hall of Fame is when The Undertaker, will he ever do it? Will he ever be the one sitting in the crowd watching? It's almost like he's the only one that's always avoided doing shoot interviews, doing podcasts, stuff like that. And, kudos to him. I love when they don't break kayfabe, but just in the world now and the way the business is now, there's not much you could do. Now, check out today, 4 p.m., Barrie, Ontario, Barrie Wrestling. They've been having some great shows. You can get out there, start driving now. As soon as you watch this video, get out to Barrie Wrestling. You can still be home in time for NXT TakeOver, which of course is tonight as well. Now, I don't even know that many matches on the card. I know the Shinsuke Bobby Roode match. I don't really know any other ones. I know obviously Asuka's defending her title. I know the triple threat tag team match. I really like the Revival guys. Hopefully the Revival guys win the title. If not, then hopefully that means that they will be on the main roster. Now, I'm just so drained. Like, I stayed up to watch the Hall of Fame, and it took a lot of, so many emotions run through my body. Like, when I sit and watch it, I just think, like, what if that was me? Like, the pride you would have of putting your whole life into wrestling and then getting honored in that way is truly special. And I love seeing the guys in the crowd that you don't normally see on the DVDs, and they don't usually mention. Like, there was just too many to name. I just really enjoyed it. It just, honestly, like, I had tears in my eyes. Like, happy tears. Like, I'm not the kind of guy that cries when I'm sad. But when I'm happy, when a movie has a happy ending, I will cry. And honestly, I honestly couldn't even barely watch anymore. Like, after the DDP one, I had to, like, sit and, like, pause it and just take it all in. Like, it's almost like they should only do one a night, because, like, 6 or 7 is just so much emotions come through me. Like, I was literally shaking because I just love wrestling so much. And I know you love wrestling because you're watching the show talking about wrestling. Now, folks, my voice is almost lost. That's okay. Tomorrow's episode, obviously, will be breaking down WrestleMania. It will also be talking about NXT TakeOver, which is tonight. It's just such an exciting weekend. You can never have a better time than the WrestleMania weekend. Even if you're not a fan of WWE, everywhere, all the media, all you're going to hear about is wrestling. And it really is going back to that period of, like, the 97, 98 when it was the most popular thing. It's back there now. It's cool to wear a wrestling shirt now. Plus, the wrestling shirts, they look good, so they look cool. Like, they're not embarrassing to wear. I love wrestling. How could you not love wrestling after a night like that? The Hall of Fame blew my mind. I think it may have been the best one yet. And it wasn't even because of the guys. It was just so well done. I honestly felt like Triple H or someone like that wrote the Rock and Roll Express's speech for them. But that's all for today. I'm just... oh my gosh. See, my voice is just gone. But, like, once it processes more, maybe I will speak on it a bit more. But I still have to, like, digest it all and take it all in. I'm still, like, in shock from it. So we'll talk about this more in the future. This has been episode 13 of The Willu Show. Wrestling is life. Life is wrestling. It is tattooed on my arm. Now remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. This is Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!
And